ownership, whatever. Oh yeah. It's great. It's great. Just the hotel. Just the hotel. Yeah, it's good to have the family here. Got 2 daughters, so it's always good. Yeah. 3 and 4 months. Yeah, she was born before the first game, so yeah, it was really cool. Oh yeah. No doubt. No doubt.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand by as the Michigan players rotate podiums.
Oh, I know. Imagine the Disneyland trip last year. They were there before we were there, and it was so much respect for what she had to do. So, oh yeah.
A game like this where Michael Penix is on the other sideline, do you see that adding any fuel to JJ maybe having a showcase in Monday night's game?
Yeah, it's a great storyline, and it's always great to go against other competitors at the quarterback position. The opportunity to compete against the best is something that you always want to strive for. But we're singularly focused, and he's going to be worried about executing his assignments, and we can't worry about what's going on the other side of the coin when we're not on the field. So, great opportunity to compete against the best, but need to stay singular focused on the task at hand.
When you look back at that Rose Bowl film, what stood out the most about that final drive in regulation, the tying drive?
Composure. From everybody, the players, the staff, and then when we had to make the plays, the players made the plays. So, at the end of the day, we evaluate quarterback position on making plays when in pressure situations, and there's no bigger moment, no bigger stage than what he had to do there, and just super proud of him and the rest of the team for that.
And for him this week, in particular, what has been his focus, area of emphasis heading into this game?
Yeah, so we always harp on ball control and moving in the pocket. Got to extend plays with the legs. So making sure that we're ball secure on every single snap. Can't win the game if you turn the football over. So just always harping on that. There's always areas we can improve on that, and just making sure we can always extend plays with our legs when plays break down. Because not every play, as we talk about, is a line on the page, right? Sometimes they break down. We got to make sure we're good in that area as well.
Given how emotional and physical the last game was, does that reality impact your preparation for this week at all? Is there any concern that there's only so much guys in the tank?
Yeah, so that's a great question. We have a very veteran team, and I think mature team, especially even at the quarterback position. Him only being 20 years old, but they celebrated that victory, and then once the game was over, we moved on to the next. We know that there's a bigger task at hand. We can always go back and celebrate that victory after the season's over. But the maturity of this team, that we're not too concerned about that. And they've done a great job in the past couple days of preparing themselves for this coming week. Thank you.
Hey, Coach, thanks for your time. In regards to Michael Penix, can you elaborate on what makes him such a unique talent, a special talent?
Yeah, so I don't know him personally, but just seeing how he handles himself during the games, I think he's got great composure. His arm talent as far as deep ball accuracy is through the roof. Tremendous respect for that. And then he's a competitor. He wants to win. I played against him when I was at Penn State. He was in Indiana, and I just remember him on the field, and I was like, man, that guy's got a bright future. And this, I think, is his freshman year. I know he went through some injuries since then, but just tremendous respect for that. And but what sticks out the most is his composure and his deep ball accuracy is just as good as I've ever seen.
Thanks so much.
Yes, thank you.
And outside of JJ, where have you seen your quarterback room make the most progress this year?
Oh, that's a great. Every single one in that room has taken a step way in the positive direction. You can go way down the line. I know I'll just start going down the list. Jack Tuttle, he's a veteran guy, but as far as he came from this spread offense and coming into more of an under center play action, pro style offense, is just learning a lot there. Alex Orji, his fundamentals, footwork, timing is just is insane in his development. Jaden Denegal might be one of the most improved players, if not the most improved player on the entire roster. Great accuracy, huge future for him. And then, you throw in Davis Warren, he went through some injuries this year, but his footwork, cleaning up some of that stuff, and he's playing on time and playing as confident as fast as you can. So summarizing that all, it would be the confidence of the group, understanding pre-snap, what we're going to probably get post-snap and be able to execute once that ball's snapped.
Yeah, and at the Rose Bowl, Jack had mentioned about maybe trying to come back either as a player or in some kind of role next year. What specifically makes him such an asset to you guys?
He's seen a lot of football, right? He's been in programs. He's been in 3 different programs, seeing what has worked, what has not worked. I think that's been extremely valuable for our room. And then he's mature. He's so mature. And it's just great for the other guys to see and be able to build off of. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that'll be good.
Is going under center your idea?
No, it's been something that Coach Harbaugh has always had part of his offense, and it's really good. Huddling under center, it's really good.
It's the atypical thing.
Yeah, for play action pass. If you want to throw a play action pass, the best way to do it is from under center. So if you can hide the ball the longest, I mean, it's always the best. You know. It's something that a lot of these high school kids don't even develop or have an understanding of. You get some new guys, and it's so hard for them to grasp. And the fundamentals of, like, people think you just get the ball and get back there, right? I mean, there's so many things, false steps and timing and precision and details, and there's a lot more work from under center, but you get a lot of more rewards for it as well.
It's crazy that. I don't think people prepare for it.
Yeah, I mean, think about our goal line package. I think we're number 1 in the country in goal line offense. We're under center.
They're 2 yards closer.
Yeah, the running back has the ball longer. He can make a decisive cut. Like, if you look at the touchdown run at the end of the game for Blake, we're under center. So now he's able to make that first jump cut. If he's in the pistol, he may not be able to see that goal. I mean, bounce it.
You have fast defensive linemen. They're already in your spot.
Absolutely. Clink. What do you got for me, Clink?
Who's your favorite coach on the staff?
Steve Clinkscale.
I'm asking some of the players what the night before a game is like for them. What's the night before a game like for you in terms of anxiety, jitters? What do you do the night before a game?
Great. For me, I'm a pretty even kill guy. Like, my emotions, I don't let them get too high with the highs, too low with the lows, and I don't get too nervous. I just review the game plan, make sure that everything's in the right order. We dot our I's and cross our T's, and no, not too much for me. I mean, players, I never really was that way as a player either. I just enjoy the moment, embrace it, and then know that the preparation is never over, and trust everybody that I'm a part of, and we just go do it. Yeah, so I have family. So, like, this week I have my 2 daughters. I got a 3-year-old and a 4-month-old, and then my wife. So then my parents are going to be here, my brothers and sisters. So there's a lot of commotion, but that's good for me because I love my family. I love being around my daughters, my mom and dad, and my brothers. So it makes it a lot easier.
What are the moments before you leave the locker room at a game like? What are you doing before you go out the top?
Just making sure my players are relaxed.
How do you do that?
Be me. I don't get too nervous. I'm relaxed. Tell them I love them. Tell them how prepared they are, how we're going to be the most prepared unit in the country, and let them just go play. If you start getting high strung, especially at our position, start screaming, yelling, hooting, hollering, that can be detrimental to their production on the field. So you kind of just don't ever let that seep out, and I'm just not that kind of guy.
What do you like to tell JJ before a game?
He's prepared his entire life for this. Tell everybody to get their popcorn ready because they're about to watch the show of the best player in the country. Yep.
My name's Steve.
Nice to meet you, Steve. What do you got, Cornelius?
So do you feel like your playing experience as a route runner, does that help you with the quarterback's perspective or calling plays or drawing up plays or anything? Does that help you because you used to run routes?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100% does. Because you got to understand as a receiver, spatial awareness, right? How to attack coverage with leverage, what routes should work versus different DB leverage. and that helps with drawing up X's and O's and teaching the quarterback what the perspective of the receiver is on that certain player route, right? Because I think that's a mutual relationship, right? You know, it may look good on the board, but if the leverage isn't good, it's gonna be tough for the receiver to get open, right?
And then you told me you used to call plays as a receiver. Is that true? You used to call
I
plays
would.
while you're running around?
Well, no, I would. So like my senior year against Bloomsburg. Our third string quarterback got in the game and he couldn't get the signals from the sideline, so I was the guy telling the huddle the plays. So as the receiver, I was articulating the plays to the rest of the offense so that we could go execute it. Wild, isn't it?
Would you say that Jude Edelman and you were similar in terms of knowledge?
Edelman, Welker, you know, Stokely, all of us, just cooking dudes.
Just find little plays.
Cooking dudes getting open.
Love it. How's it going, Kirk?
Good, how are you, man?
Yeah, fantastic. Finally, the last game of the season here. Before I get to Michigan, what have you seen from Michael Penix and in just his quarterback tendencies? And where does he size up in the quarterbacks that you guys have faced this season?
Yeah, I mean, if he's not the best, he's right up there with the best. Tremendous respect for him. I said this a little bit earlier, but his deep ball accuracy is as good as I've ever seen. Like, he does a really good job of putting air on it, letting his receivers go make plays. And then he's a competitor, right? He has great composure, and he's a good competitor. I had the opportunity to play against him when I was at Penn State on that staff, and just always had respect for him, always thought he had a bright future. And I'm happy for his success too. He battled through a lot in his career, and it's good to see that stuff. But the number one thing that sticks out is his deep ball accuracy. I haven't seen one like it recently. He's really good.
JJ is just such a composed quarterback. Against Alabama, that first play from scrimmage when he almost threw the interception. How did you see him bounce back from that? Did you have a conversation with him at all on the sideline, or how is he able to bounce back from maybe little mental mistakes and just stay so composed and calm throughout all these games that might be high pressure situations?
Yeah, that's twofold. One, he's got an outstanding way about him that he's able to flush. Our strength coach, Coach Herbert, talked about a 3-second method. 1, 2, 3, you got to flush it. And he did a good job of doing that. But it was imperative for me in that moment to talk to him and let him know, like, hey, there's a lot of football left. We made a major mistake there. We ended up getting away with it. But trust yourself, trust your training, trust your preparation. You had a great week of prep. That one play's not going to define us. We got to go out there and make sure that we just tighten things up a little bit.
Hey there, Coach. In the offseason, is Washington, just this is by chance here, did you have to look to see what they were doing at all just to get ideas after they had such a big year from last year?
Yeah, so our entire staff always does a great job of evaluating the top offenses in the country, top third downs, red zone, pass games, as well as NFL teams. And Washington was part of that. Tremendous respect with what they do. Caused a lot of confusion on the defensive side of the ball by pre-snap mechanics to let their players, with a relatively simplistic but effective scheme, that let their players play fast and execute their assignments, which I think that, tremendous respect for what they do on that side of the ball.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you about the motion stuff. Are they unique with how much they do it, or is that kind of catching on and a lot of teams are kind of at that same level?
I think the teams that are having tremendous success, you go through college football, they're not just stagnant. You got to move. There's really good players out there.
5 minutes are remaining in the Michigan media session. 5 minutes are remaining.
So just saying, there's really good football players on the defense side of the ball, and if you just say stagnant, it's really hard for your players. You got to move them around. You got to get their cleats moving. You watch the NFL, the 49ers, the Dolphins, us, Washington. Start looking at the Lions. The Ravens. The best teams in football all are motioning around a lot, but they're simplistic schemes so their players can play fast. I think that's twofold. You don't want to do too much that you're not playing fast and you're not executing. Thank you.
One more. You guys had a month to prepare for Alabama, now just 7 days once again now to prepare for Washington, normal game week. As a coach, how do you split that kind of time for Alabama, just making sure it's not too repetitive, and now going to Washington, does it feel like a normal game again? Does it just feel more comfortable, honestly?
I don't know about the comfortability. I think for us, we just know it's normal game week, and we've executed as such. And for us as coaches, because it was the travel from the West Coast back to back to the East Coast and then back down here, we spent some longer nights in the office, but that's what it's about, right? We got to make sure that the game plan's tight as it can be, and our guys can go out there and execute. But no real difference to regular game week. We just had to spend an extra couple hours away from the family and getting prepared for the game.
You know, and Alex Orji's been more part of the offense in the last few weeks than he was possibly at the beginning of the season. How have you seen him grow as a player? I know he's capable of running the ball, but also throwing the ball. So how has that kind of been also been implemented into the offense?
Yeah, so obviously what the fans have seen is him run it a lot, but his throwing is what's the most impressive and the most production. I mean, his footwork, his fundamentals, getting everything tied to his throw, his timing, is where the real development has happened, and he has an extremely bright future if he keeps trending in that direction. Thank you. Alrighty. Painless.
You guys only are doing 20 minutes.
Yeah, I know, the hour thing. So last week, I had my partners up there for an hour, and like JJ was really tired to finish that. He can't do that to me. But I mean, they're still over there. I mean, the kid.
Being here is different than, because you can kind of.
Yeah, I mean, and then you say one thing wrong, and it's blown up in the media, you know, like.
I know. So you forget, like, oh, I'm not supposed to say that.
No doubt. No locker room fuel. You don't know it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the Michigan media session. In approximately 30 minutes, Washington's media session will begin.
Appreciate it.